Doge developers have come forth with a startling warning. The chain might go down, echoing what happened to Solana in the days prior. Is Doge going to die? What will the price do? Time to go around the blockchain. Thank you for joining, everybody. We got 3 fantastic guests. So make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Let's shock the Google overlords where they look at their YouTube analytics and say, what the hell happened? We're going to go start in the green square with Lorenzo Tax. Lorenzo, some have said we look alike. I'll have to know next time you're on, I'll wear my glasses. Lorenzo, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm staying in the office. Tax season. You call me. I didn't get to use the nice camera so you can get a good look at my beautiful head.
All right. And you know what? I got the white tee underneath and a black jacket right next to me. I might change into your outfit later.
Well, halfway through.
Also on, some call him Jake Claver. I like to call him Jake Claver with the AVER. Jake, how are you doing today?
Doing good, DZ. Appreciate you having me on.
Always a great time. You always got the clever takes, man. And also we have OJ Jordan repping from Argentina. He likes to call me Leyland. He doesn't call it that. I call it that. OJ, how are you doing today?
Very good. Very good to join you guys.
All right. Let's talk about the ETF to lead the way. We have huge news for the Bitcoin ETF. Looking at some stats here, because it's one thing to compare, the ETFs amongst themselves, but where do the Bitcoin ETFs stand in the field of ETFs? The most popular ETFs are going to be largely associated with the stock market, probably S&P 500 mutual funds. Well, only 17 days into trading, IBIT is a top 5 ETF of 2024, competing with the S&P 500 peers. On an important note, the other ETFs had a 10-day head start because, of course, the BlackRock ETF approved January 10th, and the Bitcoin ETFs actually started trading the following day. The number one spot, though, for ETFs Bitcoin, it's BlackRock, it's iShares. But the number one spot for all ETFs, spoiler alert, also BlackRock. Imagine that, BlackRock leading the way. It's the BlackRock iShares Core S&P 500 ETF. They have $420 billion in assets under management. The Bitcoin ETF for iShares coming in like 11 billion or somewhere around the 13. So BlackRock and Fidelity, the only Bitcoin ETFs that have had a continuously positive flow since going live. Now, I'm taking this as a little bit of a victory. Lorenzo Tax, I can't help but the fact that the Bitcoin ETFs are a top 5 ETF out of all the ETFs. Well, you're a tax professional. I mean, you're very familiar with what percentage of ETFs are popular. It's largely going to be S&P 500. What are your thoughts of Bitcoin competing with these large players? Still coming in way lower, but I mean, is this significant? Was it surprising? What are your thoughts?
This is my topic. I love this one. So I actually recently was on our RIA platform where you can control the money management if someone wants to invest in anything. They want to buy Tesla stocks, they want to put money into an IRA. And it's so crazy to see Bitcoin ETF as one of the options. With a click of a button, you can move money, traditional fiat money, into Bitcoin. Which one's big? I'm actually more excited to see which one they start the advertisement. I think that's going to really tell which one's going to win. Is who's going to start advertising and getting the money to come into their platforms. But at the end of the day, all these guys are making a pretty penny on this. They're all going to charge for having this ETF, and it's just going to be a race of who's going to be at the top. But the part that's really exciting is what you can do if you were to put money in it today. And I think that's where I'm more excited about. It's not just the ETF, but you being able to loan off your money and not getting liquidated by a BlockFi or a Celsius. You can go and put money into a traditional platform and loan off of it to buy other things, whether that's paying your taxes or reinvesting into more securities or stock or crypto, or maybe buying a property. And you could do this all with a regular brokerage account.
Yeah, very good point. Compared to some of these other assets, it's definitely going to be pretty advantageous going with the Bitcoin ETF for loans. I'd rather put a loan against a Bitcoin ETF than, say, an NFT. I think one is more likely to be liquidated than the other. I would agree with that statement there. All right, now, Jake, I want to ask you about, it's like a race, right? The gunshot has been fired. It's off to the race. We got BlackShare. They're leading the way, competing with the other strong ETFs, even though the other ETFs had a 10-day head start. But is this sustainable? Are we acting like the tortoise or the hare? Is this a trend or a fluke?
No, I think it's sustainable. I think that you'll continue to see inflows as people gain interest. We go through the halving, this next super cycle that takes place. And as long as the constraints remain the same, then we should see a lot of people with more interest now that we have access for people in traditional markets. Just like Lorenzo was talking about, him and I'll jam out on the loans, run a family office that specializes in crypto. Have to catch up with him after the show. So anyway, yeah, I think that this is just the beginning of this. I think we'll see more ETFs launch, and there'll be other financial products and derivatives that are built out on top of this. And it's good. It's bullish for the space, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
All right, I'm pretty excited too. And OJ, who wears more than one glove here, I want to know: will this excitement be sustained? Are we going to see this excitement? I'm going to say a scary term, bear market. What do you expect in, it's one thing, hey, this is, I think 4-year historically, it's a pretty good time to buy Bitcoin on a macro scale. We're pretty far away from what's traditionally 4-year top. Well, let's go out like about 2.5, 3 years. It's the bear market. It's been nothing but red candles on the weekly. I mean, is this ETF, is this just going to be everyone leaving the Bitcoin ETFs? I mean, what do you think of the ETF situation will look like then?
Well, I don't think everyone will be leaving, but if you look at what happened with grayscale shares during the bear market, they were bleeding. So I would expect a lot of investors to be getting out during a bear market, possibly just relocating money to different assets and stuff. The ones that are more shrewd. Of course, there would be also investors who are looking really long term and wouldn't really care about the fluctuations for a year or two or something like that. But it is common sense to expect at least half of the appetite that we currently see for Bitcoin to be curbed during a bear market. However, we still have a couple of years, not a couple, but let's say a year and a half before we really have to worry about a strong bear cycle. So I feel that right now we are still going to see a lot more money coming in. And I'm curious to know if we're going to see a Super Bowl commercial of Bitcoin ETF.
I'm also curious, because they got some preliminary data, but I don't think we have the entire list of advertisers. Going to be some like last minute additions. There usually is. So I think if anyone does it, a good chance it is BlackRock. But speaking of BlackRock, let's go around the blockchain. Let's throw out the Greek thumb, the Roman emperor thumb here. BlackRock now owns, the most attractive Bitcoin ETF. They're also the largest shareholder of the two largest North American Bitcoin mining companies as publicly traded. Yes or no, will BlackRock be able to prevent 85% drawdowns on Bitcoin moving forward? Do they have that power? Leaning yes. All right, everyone's disagreeing with me. I think BlackRock might be able to shrink it to a, call me crazy, 75% or 75%, 65% drawdown there. I think they might be able to control sell pressure.
That's a good point, because we didn't see 80% drop in the last bear cycle. It was 78, I think. So we didn't even go to 80%. I feel that now we are getting slightly smaller drawbacks during each cycle. The same way as the ROI is shrinking with every next bull cycle, the drop is also shrinking with every next bear cycle, I think.
OJ, do we get one more parabola or not?
Yeah.
Meaning that crazy, if you look at the charts, Bitcoin did not spend that many days above 60,000. It did it 2 different periods. You combine those, it's barely, I think it's maybe even less than 20 days. Is it going to be something similar? Are we just going to have like a week or two to exit the top?
Oh, yeah. Blow off top, I think so.
Okay.
It's difficult to make predictions because we're in a in a very different market now than we were last time. It's true that with ETFs and with institutional investors, you're not going to see that kind of panic selling. But at the same time, they will be holding big bags. So if they decide to dump, suddenly, we could still see sharp declines. It's difficult to predict.
It will be difficult to predict. Lorenzo, what do you think? Do you think we'll get a parabolic top, or is it going to be more of a sideways, choppy with a slightly faster head down?
I was having this conversation with a client of mine yesterday. I'm not the chart expert here, but I wonder what would be the timeline for like the 90 percentile of like at the top. Like it doesn't be, let's not say like top, but like let's go on like both sides of it, like the 90 percentile. How long does it stay in that range on every top that we've had? I'm curious to know that, because I don't think it's that long. Let's say it's a month or 2 months at tops, but a guy wanted to say he wanted to DC out over the course of a year. And I said, that's way too long. Like you need to get a bulk. Once you feel like you've hit the tops, you got to, if anyone wants to exit, everyone I talk to wants to exit. So I just don't see us staying at a top for that long. Everyone I talk to, all my clients, they all say, I want to offload a nice amount of my crypto. When you start to hear that same rhetoric, I see a trend, and this trend points to up and down.
Yeah, and if I had to guess, I would say that top 10% range. So Bitcoin went to 69K, that'd be minus 6,900. That would be 62,100. That top 10%, it might be 5 days. It might be 2 days, folks. You literally might have one day. You might have one day. Yeah, I'd have to check the charts. But the reason it's been several days above 60 because it went to 61 above. 60 semi-acted as support. Like, oh, we're going to do the leg to 70 and 80. And then it faked everybody out. But yeah, the last 5-10%, very, very limited time to catch that.
Like we're also short-term mindset. I can't even remember that far long ago.
It was. I only know this from researching a video like 2 weeks ago. But speaking of research, Binance is going to be researching you, and they're putting out a $5 million bounty on your head, like you're Han Solo, if you're a bad actor, that is, and you're a Binance employee. Let's see. Let's share this article real quick. Why Binance is offering a $5 million bounty. Why? It's to out the shady employees following the Ronin listing debacle. They're pretty upset what happened here. And the co-founder, Yi He, initiated an internal investigation. If you don't know who Yi He is, she is CZ's life partner, mother of his children, and co-founded Binance with him as well. She doesn't act as the chairperson, I believe. It's still the CEO. But yeah, they have a $5 million bounty for information on potentially corrupt staff members. And they're going to do a lot of sweeping changes to combat a lot of the inside trading that be seen. In response, now whistleblowers are coming encouraged to come forward with bounties ranging from $10K to $5 million. So pretty lucrative bounty, I would say, right there. I mean, that's more than for the Lindbergh baby, and for I'm trying to think, DB Cooper. I mean, we're talking about Osama bin Laden bounties. I think it's actually maybe even higher than Osama bin Laden's bounty right there. Well, Lorenzo Tax. Oh, well, you know what? No, I'm going to throw to Jake here. Jake, Yi He seems to be sending a message. She's sending a message. We are taking this very seriously. $5 million, So all the feds, all the UN watchdogs, all these government, all these NGOs looking, clearly we're taking it very seriously. $5 million bounties. Is Yi He, is she cleaning house well enough on her own where the feds maybe say, you know what, they're doing a good enough job?
I doubt it. There's some pretty serious implications that Congress came with when they slapped them with that fine. And I think this is their way of kind of saving face and trying to do it internally, and maybe just, putting that out there so that people think that they are cleaning stuff up. That I like CZ, I like Binance. I think that they've been, very influential and a big mover in the space for a long time. Hopefully they can get it together. I'd like to see them come back here in the U.S. and be able to, have U.S. investors and people on their platform. But they're going to have to do it in whatever the regulated way is moving forward. So, I think this is more just a chess move to kind of show that they are serious about it. But it's not, the feds and everybody are still going to come in and look it over.
Yeah, I would agree. I think they could do the world's best job, and they would still say it's probably not good enough. We share my screen one more time. This is Yi He, the co-founder, and she's got a substantial bounty to find the mole within Binance that could be, sharing inside information here. OJ, what are your thoughts on the bounty amount? $5 million on the high end. I mean, is that going to be paid out? I mean, is there a crypto hack that's worth $5 million? I mean, what do you think the hackers out there, are they going to turn in their black hat for a white one? Oh, you got muted there. Those the regulators.
Yeah,
the mole cut your wire.
No, I muted myself. Yeah. I think it's quite a high amount. It's definitely a strong incentive. I feel that, I mean, it's to out employees. It's not even, just going, doing white hacking kind of stuff. I feel that they're under a lot of pressure from all kinds of governments. At least 8 or 9 countries are going after Binance for all kinds of things. So they really have a tough situation right now, and they really want to stay in business. So I feel that they really have to do everything possible to avoid any further investigations, court cases, all of these kind of things. So and obviously they have now a clear case of insider trading, which is very illegal. I mean, they can easily get banned from any country for that alone. So they really need to save the business. And 5 million is for them is probably a good amount.
All right. Yeah, I would say 5 million is a good amount for a lot of people there. Now, Lorenzo, I can't help but think, is there a new leader here? Is this just a figurehead? This is something we've seen in the past when, FTX had its whole debacle. Is SBF still running things behind the scenes? We see it in politics as well, just to cover both sides. George Bush Jr., he's a puppet of his dad and Dick Cheney. Joe Biden, he's a puppet of Obama. So you always see this puppeteer narrative. Is there a complete separation between Yeehee and CZ? Or do you think there's maybe strategy sessions over dinner? And if so, is there anything wrong with that?
Well, first, outfit change.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I like that. You know what? I might even do top button here to make it a little bit closer.
They got in trouble, Binance. I mean, not in trouble. The regulators came really hard down on them. So now maybe he's saying, maybe the feds gave her an out and said, hey, I want you to find the people who are doing the corrupt staff. And then Jake just sent me a message. I think he said, hey, let's get some of these guys so we get some investment into the family office. So I think we can get a good $5 million back.
You know what? Jake just sent me this image. Owen, can you share my screen? He just sent me this. Jake, I don't. And then you're sending me a Binance UID number. Okay, all right. Sam Bankman-Fried's alt wallet. I'll look into it. I'll look into it. All right, well, let's talk about Doge. Everybody wants to talk about Doge. I see people in chat. What do you mean? Why is Doge going down? Did you miss the technique? Don't sweat the technique. You haven't missed it yet. Share my screen real quick. Dogecoin developer, and keeping with the meme here, says the meme coin is unresponsive and sick. Here is why. Honestly, as soon as I saw the reason, I was like, oh yeah. It is inscriptions. Inscriptions is data messages stored directly on the blockchain. I guess putting doom on Doge, which was a real thing. Maybe those type of actions have been clogging the network right here. So Dogecoin developer and foundation member Timothy Stebbing. This is the person sending out the warning here. He's saying the inscriptions stoppage has led to several exchanges contacting the Dogecoin Foundation, expressing concern about the network sluggishness. And Stebbing says the foundation is exploring things from all the way, hold on, what's the words I wanted to look at? From friendly to extreme when it comes to solving the issues here. Suggesting one of the suggestions, moving data off chain at the protocol level. Also, there's more FUD. We just got 100 million Doge transfer to Robinhood. A lot of people saying, this is the whales getting out before there's any kind of Solana style stoppage. Well, what would happen if that happens? OJ, if Doge pulls a Solana, what do you think is going to happen? Is it just going to be moves with the market, maybe down 1 or 2%? Or would this be closer to exploit, Binance delisting, 20, 30, 40% dump?
I doubt. I mean, Dogecoin has been around for so long. I've never seen any major issues with it. Of course, with these inscriptions, that's a new thing. I mean, they blew off last year, really. And I am, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of Dogecoin. I have some right now because I'm waiting for that launch of the SpaceX mission, the moon mission, Doge 1, I think it's called. It's supposed to be on the 14th of February, so I'm kind of hoping that this will push the price up a little bit. But let's see what happens. For me, Dogecoin is one of those meme coins that is just fun to have around in the crypto space, but I don't really have I'm not really attached to it in any way. And if it's, no, I don't think it's got, to answer your question, no, I don't think we're going to see that kind of delistings and all of that FUD. It will be something that will probably be a temporary drop.
Yeah, and OJ brought up the fact that there's a mission to send Doge and also a subsequent mission to send Bitcoin to space. It literally blew up. It blew up in space like a month ago. And so they got to do it again. It's really? Unfortunate. Yeah, that's a real story. It was along with like people's ashes. It wasn't like, a major SpaceX rocket launch. It was just, one of these things that they'll just send capsules into orbit for you. And some people try to send Doge, some people try to send Bitcoin, and it literally had a Challenger moment. Maybe it was prescient here. I don't know. All right, Jake Claver, I want to know, what do you think is going to happen if Doge goes down 2% dump, 40% dump, somewhere in between? Or is it pump because they're just maniacs?
Probably pumps because they're maniacs. If Elon says anything about it on Twitter or any other social media platform, you see the market manipulation. But that just helps out the SEC. They supposedly own like 25% of the supply. I think that Doge is a cool social token. I know it started out as a meme, but I think there's a potential for it to end up being maybe a stable coin later on. I know a lot of people hope for $1. I think that is a possibility. And maybe there's some type of collateral that it gets backed with. Maybe the data on Twitter is used to back that as a stable coin in the future. So anyway, yeah, I don't see, huge implications for it. I mean, Solana goes down all the time, like it did just recently. And there's not a whole lot of dump there. It continues to perform. So
yeah, Shake and Bake, very funny comment. Is that who Michael Jackson always called for? All right, that was good. Shake and Bake, that was a good one. All right, well, he threw out the $1 target, Lorenzo Tax. I don't know if I'm coming in that high. I think it is possible. I would put it above 10% odds. I'm not saying it's a moonshot. It's double-digit percentages here. What's your Doge price target for this bull run, potentially 2025?
Doge is going to go as far as Elon takes it at the end of the day. That's just,
So
I like
is he going to 69 it? It went, sorry, clarification. It went to 69 cents. Literally, it went to 69 cents. So is he going to?
You're funny, DZ. That it's a fun episode.
Always is. Smash the like if that made you chuckle.
Target? What's the price target? I mean, honestly, if Elon. I honestly always liked Doge. I hold a bunch of Doge only for the fact that I know it has that moonshot potential because Elon is around it. And Elon's had a really bad, I think honestly, he's had a pretty bad year from a publicity standpoint. A lot of people have attacked him. Him coming onto X, all the eyes are on him. Can't move his free. And, is he going to be able to go and pump this again? I don't know. Honestly, I feel since he took over X, I feel the chances of him pumping Doge are less than when he wasn't the owner of X.
Ooh, good point. Because are you thinking regulatory scrutiny being the main reason?
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of people tripping in his ear over this now. He can't be as volatile.
I would definitely agree with that. Web3 Me, Doge shuts down. Now what? Chain does. They got to swap some. Well, it appears, according to the developer, it is sluggish. And so those who remember Cardano, probably 2 months after they launched smart contracts, it would take 10 minutes sometimes, when there's peak usage here. It looks like we're having something similar here. But let's do the Roman Emperor thumb again, because now we're going to judge the Dogecoin community as a whole. Do they care or not care? Well, I guess, all right, thumbs up if they care, thumbs down if they don't care. Does the Dogecoin community care if transactions are slow? I don't think they care. All right. I think we're in agreement here for all right. No one is going to care in the Dogecoin community if transactions are slow. Honestly, is you're probably trading on a centralized exchange, which is like doing internal swap, so you probably don't even see any kind of delay, because I would imagine 1 out of 50 Doge transactions are like people actually sending from Doge wallet to Doge wallet. Probably normally people buying $5 worth on Robinhood. But, volume-wise, yeah, I'm not talking about volume. I just mean the number of transactions. But, all right, Lorenzo, you're saying, as high as Elon could take it. Are you willing to throw out a number? It did hit around 70 cents. Can it hit previous all-time high? Yay or nay?
Yeah, I think it can. It can hit previous. Anything can hit previous all-time highs if we go on a nice run.
Except XRP. I'm joking. I am joking, clearly. Jake, that was for you. Jake thinks it's hitting 3, potentially higher. I think it's possible. Jake, will Doge hit 70 cents again?
I mean, you got mine. I think we end up with a stable coin. I don't know if it'll be this year, but in the future, I think people get their wish on the dollar. And
wow,
they back it with collateral, and it's stable there.
Ooh, I think people are going to love that one right there. Ninja for Elon Musk is he? Is the same thing as Tupac's mother. OJ Jordan, where is your target for Dogecoin?
Right now it's 8 cents. So if we're talking 10x 80, I think around 80 is probably the top. I doubt if it's going to reach $1. Many people are hoping. And if it gets close to $1, there will be so much selling going on. I feel it's not going to be able to break it. So no more than 80.
Yeah, those are around 2021. Doge to $1 was like a siren song. You heard it everywhere, especially as we started exceeding 50 cents. I think the average Doge community member thought for sure it is hitting $1 once we had passed 50 cents, and we saw how that played out. Doge is the first crypto that my brother and Plano heard about. Yeah, also one of my buddies first got me into crypto. Him and his buddy super into Doge. He lost all his Bitcoin in Doge. I think it started remining it a year or two later. The other friend sold half and bought an entire apartment complex. So the buddy he went to high school with kept his Bitcoin, bought an apartment complex. James, I'm sorry. But you know what? You're rebuilding your bags, and that's what we're all here for. Hit that like button. You want to rebuild your bags. And Lorenzo, you had some hot takes. I'll go ahead and throw it to you to wrap up the show. Lorenzo, leave us with some parting thoughts as we head into the hump day here.
I guess I'll be serious here. Let's talk about taxes. That's my MO. It's tax season. I think that anyone who needs help on their taxes, go to these crypto tax softwares. They're all out there. Just connect all your wallets. Just a little PSA for everyone. Go onto any of them. Just Google crypto tax software. I won't shout out anyone that I like personally, but go in there. Just connect all your wallets and report your crypto taxes. Do the right thing.
Do the right thing, because you don't want Jerome Powell and Nancy. You don't want them knocking on your door. Okay. Elizabeth Warren will show up peeking through your window. You don't want that. It will freak you out. But folks, that's all we have time for today. Make sure you go and hit that like button. And if you check the description, we have links to all 3 guests below. It'd really mean a whole lot to me personally if you went and you followed their content. We appreciate them giving their time here. So folks, we'll see you in the future. Hit that like button on the way out.